This war stops now.
You are tired of the war. I can see on your face.
End the war. Bring freedom to our people.
Welcome to the Stop and Listen podcast. I'm your host, Jamie, and at the moment, I can't remember what episode I'm on. Thank you for joining us. It is Christmas Eve. No, it is Christmas Eve. I don't even know what time of day it is. Actually, it's Christmas Eve morning, nearly noon. I'm going to leave in a few minutes. But by gosh, we've got news to talk about. So the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Mason Rudolph. I am not a football fan. Apparently, he said something worth watching.
They're playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer here in the stadium. Your first start since 2021. What worked for you tonight?
First off, I want to say just so thankful to my Creator, Jesus Christ, for giving me the opportunity to play this game and for carrying me through the dark times and getting me back here for a special moment. But we did a great job across the board.
What Christians are experiencing around the world today for their faith, and we take it for such granted today. I mean, what he did was so minor, it should not be leading off a news show, but it is, because it's brave and it needs to be said. So Mason Rudolph of the Steelers, kudos. I don't know, I guess he's not the star. They said he hasn't started in a while, because otherwise, maybe I'd become a Steelers fan. But I am a Mason Rudolph fan. Great job, buddy. Mother Jones. I have not read this. The headline got me. Now, Mother Jones, I know it's on the left. I don't really know what their deal is. But Rudolph, that wasn't the name of the article on Twitter. But Rudolph, Frosty the Grinch, and me, Christmas traditions with my dad. My father and I watch dozens of Christmas movies every year. This time, I asked why. Okay, we're going to deconstruct some stuff. Cool. Author, Angela Cabral. This woman is seemingly a 44-year-old actress, but that doesn't look like the same person. Okay, it's a mystery. We don't know who she is. No bio. Interesting. Let's read over an article that was probably written by AI. It's the 1st of December, and I'm watching Succession alone in my apartment. This is not the way it's supposed to be, or at least not the way it has been. Since I was a 1-month-old baby in December 1997, my father and I celebrated Christmas through tree lightings, 12 days of Christmas presents, and more. 12 days of Christmas presents? Someone was spoiled. The rest of my family was around, but the non-religious Christmas stuff was never as much their thing as it was for my dad and me. But the non-religious Christmas stuff was never as much their thing as it was. It implies that okay, so her and her dad enjoyed the non-religious Christmas stuff, the opening presents, lighting trees, I guess watching movies about said Christmas. Okay. The one tradition that has stood the test of time is our gathering to watch Christmas movies, sometimes from the day after Thanksgiving until a few days after the big day. Even when I went out of state for college, I was still back home almost the entire month of December, leaving plenty of time to watch holiday specials and movies together. This year, things are different. I'm living on my own in an apartment, only a 40-minute drive from my parents, but it's not the same as being there every day. It's not like a great little tradition. It's not that my father and I are religious people. I was raised Catholic, and so was he, but we've long stopped being the people who go to church every Sunday. Okay, so yeah, we got to make sure this is not something that comes from a place of something greater. This is going to be probably pretty shallow. It's not going to be much more than skin deep, I'm going to have to guess. The last few years, as I've gotten older and watched my father along with me, I've started to think about what I will do when my father passes. Will I watch all these movies by myself? Some are not that good, to be honest. The joy comes from watching them with my dad, of being a part of a pair that cares about something together. I'm still unsure of what parts of my childhood I will cling to as I age. Will this be one of them? Okay, if you're just alone and you never reproduce or have partners, I guess, yes, you could do that. I mean, there are shows that I can watch and feel a nostalgia of the time I spent with my grandma. Or you could pass on traditions. You could do them with other loved ones. You come from a large Irish Catholic family, 8 brothers and sisters. Was Christmas a big deal in your family when you were a kid? So that's what she's asking her father. She's interviewing him. So she knows how to feel about watching Christmas movies. She has to deconstruct the positive memories of what they've been going through. Awesome. I would say yes. It doesn't even matter what he would answer. Some of the specials we watched together, do you remember them from your childhood? Did you watch them with your family? So is this just a special thing between the two of them, or this has been going on for a long time? I feel like not everybody is as enthusiastic about Christmas as you. Do you feel like the enthusiasm is something you picked up on your own, or something that came from some of your siblings, or the town you grew up in, or your mother? Okay, so father wasn't around. So let's figure out who made you want to celebrate this time of year, even though you're not religious hardly at all. Where's this coming from? Because it's probably the patriarchy. There's no father mentioned, so he took off, but yeah, now we're getting somewhere. What's your favorite of the movies we watch? Wonderful Life. Probably a reason for that. I've never actually seen that. I have a general idea what the theme is. I always feel like Christmas has been you and me, like the lead up to Christmas, watching the movies, going to tree lightings, decorating the tree, all of that. How does it feel that I'm not here every day this year? Can you imagine having a conversation with this person? My Lord, if I moved far, like cross country, and I was only in town for a few days during the holiday season, would you watch the movies on your own? Do you have any questions for me? Oh. So, in conclusion, the holidays sometimes felt hard for me. A distraction was watching movies with you. And I think that helped a lot. I like spending time with you. And aside from Christmas, movies and television shows have always been a way that we've bonded. I feel like the whole liking the same movies thing was really solidified during the pandemic because we had nothing to do at night. Our family was self-isolating for 15 months. Oh my gosh. That is so sad. I lost a aunt during the pandemic, and at her funeral, her daughter said, like, we were just starting to get things back on track. And for a moment, I'm like, whoa, was there like a schism in the family? Like that's what they're, and then shortly dawned on me. No, they'd actually just been avoiding each other. My family, like, we were precautious and stuff, but like we didn't. And it's sad. A lot of people lost loved ones or went on into the next life completely alone, and it didn't have to be that way. And we spent the time watching classic movies. I asked you, if I moved away, would you watch these movies without me? If you died, would I watch these movies without you? But what if she moved away? What? So like, if she says, why wouldn't she say if we both moved away, or if I moved away, would we both still watch these movies? That's not the thought process. No, if you died, would I watch these movies without you? That's something I feel unsure about, and I can't imagine sitting down to watch these movies alone. Okay, that's not the direction I thought that article was going to take, but my God, what a narcissistic person. Wow. Politico. Politico says we can reclaim control of our dynasty. Actually, Politico doesn't say that. They're just the one who wrote the article about what Al Gore said about climate change. Former Vice President Al Gore expressed the optimism that humanity can still repair the damage to the environment that is causing global warming. Well, let's see how far he gets before he says nuclear power. Solar. Okay. Tiny article. It didn't say anything. No mention of global warming. Just feel guilty. Just a little bit more burden on your back. Jocko Willink. Good morning. See that beautiful picture? This isn't a story. I just seen this post, and I wanted to talk about Jocko Willink because I mentioned this in a former podcast, and I need to keep mentioning this. We need this man to be president of the United States now, actually. Not like in 2028. It's too late in the game for him to get in and make a national name for himself, especially with Trump's gigantic lead. But we need Jocko, and we need more of him we need more men like him. But I think Jocko specifically, he's a podcaster. He's a former Navy SEAL, started out as a podcaster. He has a podcast. He's written many books, and he gives leadership seminars. And if you go and just look for Jocko inspiration on YouTube, I mean, there's so much of his words have been cut up and put in videos. That is the leader we need. That is the leader we need right now. So Ron Paul came out with his annual Festivus report, which I can't believe look, it's from Senate.gov. It's a government document based on something from Seinfeld, but it's his just report on tax dollars. So he has 900 billion wasted. I would say we run more than $1 trillion of deficit every year, so it's got to be more than that. So I think this is a 25-page paper. We will, I will come back to this. But here we go. I mean, just the inefficiency of the government. Y'all who want to tax the rich and live in a welfare state, I understand that. But let's be practical. People were using dowels, apparently, $800 billion in COVID Paycheck Protection Program, PPP funds. So they were supposed to use some kind of AI system to verify identities when they started just throwing out cash. Apparently, people actually used dowels as images because there was some kind of photo requirement. Here's an important thing. This is, I need to focus more on this. $659 billion for interest on our national debt. That's just the interest on the money that we already owe. No matter what your ideological mindset is, government paying for stuff is not, when our measly little savings, inflation hits that because they're doing this. That measly money is worth even less. When we're scraping to get by, it's worth less. Obviously, that's inflation. Rich people, once the rich hit a certain level, they don't know what it is. I mean, the price of gas means nothing to them. The inflation doesn't really add up for them. So making their money worth less, it's fine. They diversify it. They know how to play the system, most of them in a legal way that we can't. Dr. Fauci's monkey business, $3.2 million to run NIH's Monkey Island. Billions of dollars has gone to AIDS research based on what Fauci has said since the 80s, per the JFK Jr. book about Fauci that I'm listening to now. That's a drop in the bucket. I mean, it's still a drop in the bucket that should be noticed, but I'm guessing that's probably the last mention of Fauci. So please, people, we're going to go back over this. I only got to page 6. I probably can do a whole video on that, and I will. I'll just do a whole video on it. The government is not the answer. Them spending money they didn't have to earn, they're doing so clearly recklessly. No matter what your ideology is, whether you believe in God or you don't, whether you value human life or you don't, I mean, just economically, can we just all agree to stop allowing these people to steal from us? And then we can have the ideological battle. I'm certainly prepared for that. Many people are prepared for that. Let's talk. Let's argue about this. Let's put it out to the American people so they can hear our arguments for one side or the other. But there shouldn't be a side as far as the government stealing from us and giving it to other people unless you benefit from it. And obviously a lot of people do benefit. The most important people benefit from it, and that's why it is what it is. But as people, we have to get this shit under control. So I got to get going for Christmas. I came across this on Twitter. You are replaceable at work, but never at home. That is so true. And there are some people who have neither. Unfortunate. But I certainly know that. We know that feeling. Like we don't want to. I think it's probably common that we don't want to miss too much work. Take too long of a vacation, too many days off, or whatever. And then they find out that we're not as important as we demonstrate that we're not all that important by us not being there. That's our fear, but it's always the case. I mean, no place has gone under because a low-level employee was fired or quit. So if we worried about keeping our jobs as much as we worry about keeping our family, I don't know, maybe the world would be a better place. But I don't know, a lot of people don't even have jobs and don't give a shit if they keep them, clearly by the output. But hey, it's Christmas time. Mentioned in the last video, incoherently, I had to chop it up pretty good. But at Christmas time, The holidays, generally, all holidays, it's not great for the lonely. It feels a little bit worse, a lot worse, actually, when you don't have many people around you. And keep that in mind. So your coworker maybe doesn't talk much, or your neighbor that you don't see have too frequent visitors, reach out to them, give them a smile and show them that you know who they are and that you care. So that's all I got for today. Please like, subscribe, follow, comment, do all the things. James Jost at Stop and Listen Pod on Twitter. I'm most active on that. Have a great Christmas to all. Good night.